Thanks for joining me, guys. We're going to do a really quick card tutorial today that I came across. I really like it because it's kind of a mix between an envelope and a card, plus it's really easy to do. Doesn't take more than probably somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. So a lot of fun. I'm going to be using the paper and a lot of the stamps or pieces that come with the Everything is Rosy kit. I love this paper. It's one of my favorites. You've got that Night of Navy, the Melon Mambo, and then it's just got this really fun splash of rose gold. So we're going to use this set and let's get going. I'm actually going to use a scoring board. I feel like it just makes it a little bit quicker when you're doing lots of scoring. So I'm going to line this up and I'm going to score this at 2 1/4. Three. Again, 2 1/4. And finally 3. So we've got our scoring done, and then I'm actually going to cut out, you're going to see where the scoring lines cross and make a V. You're going to cut those pieces out. Make sure you don't cut too far in because you don't want to mess up your fold. But there's going to be 4 of these that you're going to need to cut out. And I kind of cut on the outside line, outside of the scoring line. That just keeps those lines from showing up in your final card. Okay, so there we go. That is what we've got. And I'm going to move this out of the way for just a second so we can fold this up. Okay, so that is our fun little envelope. Super easy to make. And I added one thing to this just to help with the closure. I'm going to pull out my cutter here. So I'm lining this up about 1.5 inches. And I'm going to bring my cutter down, and I'm going to cut between 1.5 to 2.5. And you want to make sure you don't cut before or to your edge. So again, I did it just about 1.5 to 2.5. You can go a little bit larger if you'd like, or a little bit less. That just kind of gave me a good reference. And then you can close your card. So gives it just a little extra protection, I think. We are going to add a band, but I thought it was kind of fun to actually close it up just in case someone didn't want to put that band back on. Okay. And then the next step is we're actually going to create a piece on the inside of this card. I'm going to grab this back out. And to make that piece, we are going to cut the inside to be 4 inches wide by 6 inches long. Leave that up because then we are going to score at 3 inches to fold this in half. Okay. So that's going to be the piece that is going to go on the inside of our envelope that we've made. We're going to decorate that up a little bit. I'm actually going to put a piece of scrap. I'm using multiple sets. I love to mix and match sentiments and flowers. Now, because we're using the Everything is Rosy paper, we're also going to use the Everything is Rosy stamp set just to get the flowers to match. And then I'm using a few other sets just to add a little bit more flair to it. One of those is painted poppies. And the reason I'm using that is I love this stamp right here, just to add a little bit more texture to the stamp, or to the card, I'm sorry. So I'm going to use, Blushing Bride with this stamp here, just to give it a little bit more. Add it right there. And then I'm going to do a softer right there. And actually, I think I'm going to do one more right here. All right, let's clean this off. Then I'm going to add my flower. And again, this is from the Everything is Rosy kit. And I'm going to do that in Night of Navy. So I'm going to do a couple different shades of this. The first dark one, I'm going to go ahead and put kind of right here. And I'm going to bring it down a shade for my next two flowers. Okay, there we go. Let's clean that off. And then now I'm going to add the sentiments, and this is where I started going with some different stamp sets. So the first sentiment is actually from To a Wild Rose. It's a little hello stamp that I really, really like. And I'm going to stamp that with Blushing Bride. Right about here. And then the Everything Rosy set has a stamp that says Dear Friend. I'm going to pull that in with Night of Navy. So you can kind of see what we've got there. All right. So that is the front of our card. And then I want to add just a little bit more flair to it. So I'm going to bring in the Melon Mambo just because that color is really strong in our paper. So I'm going to do the center of the flowers in that really pretty Melon Mambo color, just to bring that in. So I'm going to go darker, the darker flower, and I'm actually going to bring that down. Let's do that again. In the center of those lighter flowers. Okay, there we go. And then just because I love these rhinestones, I put them on a lot of my cards. It gives it just a little bit more flair. We're going to add a few of those to the flowers. So I'm going to add one right in the center, and then maybe some smaller ones there. Let's close this up. Guys, I'm terrible with getting ink all over my fingers. It's one of my biggest problems, which I'm actually unfortunately smearing on this card, so I'm not being careful enough. Okay, so that is the outside of this card. And then we're going to open it up, and this is where we're going to add our other sentiment that I really love. Again, this one is from To a Wild Rose. And it is True Friendship is One of God's Greatest Gifts. I absolutely love that stamp. It's such a great stamp for friends. And we're going to use Night of Navy for that stamp set. Oops. All right, clean this off. And then I want to add just a little bit more on the inside of the card. So I'm going to take the leaf that's from Everything Rosy and just kind of stamp it twice with the 2 different shades, probably again here on the inside. So nothing too strong, a little bit subtle. And so here is the inside of our card. All right. So again, really, really easy, pretty quick to do. Move this out of the way. And now we're just going to add this to the inside of our card. Let's see where this fold is to make sure we have it the right direction. Lining things up is not my best thing, so hopefully we get this lined up good. There we go. All right, so there it is. So just a fun card. I love how this is, again, a little unique. Now I'm going to add a band. So I did pre-cut this and score this just because I wanted my paint to dry before I could put this on. But I scored it, I kind of lined it up and then scored the 2 lines at, I believe, so you're 1 inch and then 3 1/4 would be the space between that. So we can kind of look to make sure it matched up, and it did. So I don't know that this paint is completely dry yet, but we're going to go ahead and I'm going to move this here just because I know it's not dry. So I would suggest to, of course, let yours dry, but we're just going to glue this together quick. And press down on that for a minute. We want it tight, but not so tight that you can't get this off the card. So yeah, I did get my paint on there. Okay, so that moves pretty good. And then we're going to add a couple of pieces that I cut with the dies. These dies are from the Everything Rosies kit, so I used the flower and the leaf just to give a little more to this card. So yeah, I better do it this way. Put that there. And that there. Okay, everyone, so here is our card. Again, just super adorable. Hopefully this is close enough for you to see it, but just really fun to kind of open up and share with someone. Again, probably a design that's been around for a long time, but I just came across it and really liked it as I'm learning how to do this. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Subscribe to my page. I hope to do a lot more of these as I learn new cards to do. I'm having a ton of fun with this, so thanks so much. Bye, guys.